All right, so next is 34.4. Again, this is the only section we're doing today because they're longer sections. Vocabulary word at the top, the Punic Wars are a series of wars fought between Rome and Carthage for control of the Mediterranean. And at the bottom, in 218 BCE, the Carthaginian general Hannibal led his troops across the Alps to attack Rome. So here's 34.4, expansion during the Punic Wars, 264 BCE to 146 BCE. During Rome's second period of expansion, it fought 3 savage wars with Carthage, a powerful city-state in North Africa, for control of the Mediterranean region. When the wars began, Carthage held North Africa, most of Spain, and part of the island of Sicily. It also controlled most of the trade in the western Mediterranean. The Greek cities in southern Italy had frequently clashed with Carthage over trading rights. When Rome conquered these cities, it was drawn into the fight with Carthage. Rome's wars with Carthage are called the Punic Wars, after the Greek name for the people of Carthage. The First Punic War began in 264 BCE. It was fought mostly at sea. Carthage had a very powerful navy, but the Romans built up their own navy by copying and improving on the Carthaginians' ship design. A decisive victory at sea in 241 BCE won the war for the Romans. The triumphant Romans took over Sicily as well as other islands in the area. The Second Punic War started 23 years later. This time, the Carthaginians decided to attack Italy itself. In 218 BCE, Hannibal, a brilliant Carthaginian general, surprised the Romans by marching his army from Spain across the Alps, a high mountain range, and into Italy. Find my spot here. And his troops rode elephants and braved snowstorms, landslides, and attacks by local tribes. For 15 years, Hannibal's men fought the Romans in Italy. In 202 BCE, Hannibal had to return home to defend Carthage against an attack by a Roman army. There he was defeated in the battle that ended the Second Punic War. Carthage was forced to give up Spain to Rome, along with huge sums of money. And there's a map showing what was conquered. For about 50 years, there was peace between Rome and Carthage. Then, spurred on by Cato, a senator who demanded the complete destruction of Carthage, the Romans attacked once more. The Third Punic War lasted 3 years. In 146 BCE, the Romans burned Carthage to the ground. They killed many people and sold others into slavery. Rome was now the greatest power in the Mediterranean region. It controlled North Africa, much of Spain, Macedonia, and Greece. The Punic Wars expanded Roman power and territory, but Rome's victories came at a price. Now here's the part when you are asked who's not happy about expansion. Here's probably some people who are not very happy. Countless young men had died in the long wars. In addition, people living outside Rome suffered huge losses in population and property. Hannibal's army had destroyed thousands of farms. Other farms had been neglected, while farmers went off to fight in Rome's armies. By the time the soldiers returned home, Rome had been forced to import grain from Sicily and other places. Small farms were being replaced by large estates, where the wealthy planted vineyards and raised livestock. Unable to compete with the wealthy landowners, many poor farmers had to sell their land. While riches and slaves flowed into Rome from the conquered lands, so did new customs. Many of the new ideas came from Greece. Wealthy Romans competed with one another to build Greek-style homes and beautiful temples. So take a moment and look at your ISN for that section. Again, you put the dates. Why did they fight the Punic Wars? And what did they gain? So talk about the different lands that they conquered and gained with each of the 3 battles. And then that second part of who would have a negative view, again, in those last few paragraphs where it talks about it came at a price, That gives you a list of people who would not have been happy. Bullet points are fine, and that's all we're doing for today.